In March 2020, while COVID lockdowns were in full swing and small businesses' sales had fallen off a cliff, Jackie Reese's called Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin. As the head of Square Capital, the lending arm of Jack Dorsey's payment processing company Square, Reese's insisted that even though her company wasn't a traditional bank, Mnuchin should make an exception and let Square help dole out the hundreds of billions of dollars in forgivable loans that the U.S. government had made available through the Paycheck Protection Program, PPP. She argued that Square's relationships with millions of small businesses made it a good distribution channel. After Mnuchin agreed to allow Square, Intuit, PayPal and other fintechs to become PPP lenders, Reese's turned to her team and said, "We have 3 weeks to build a brand new loan program from scratch, and it has to be mostly automated." The 100-plus employees slated to work on it were exhilarated. "If we typed fast enough, these businesses could get saved. They wouldn't lose their lease. They could make payroll," says Audrey Kim, who worked under Reese's as the head of product at Square Capital at the time. "I felt so energized by the mission that I barely slept for the first 4 months of PPP," Reese's says. "I saw such an extreme level of need and fear across Main Street businesses in the United States, and I felt if we didn't help them, they would largely go out of business, and local neighborhoods would deeply suffer. I felt that viscerally in my heart and my head, and it impacted every decision I made in that period of time." When the Square Capital loans started flowing, the stakes rose even higher. The Small Business Administration gave out Reese's cell phone number to businesses that were applying for loans through Square, and owners of coffee shops, nail salons and other small businesses were calling Reese's directly, in tears. She helped them with basic questions like how to submit tax forms both on phone calls and in tweets. Her team held meetings at 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. every day, 7 days a week for months to keep the loans coming. Square ultimately gave out 80,000 PPP loans worth $857 million. Its average loan size was about $11,000, compared with $113,000 for the overall PPP program. "It was one of the most exhausting experiences of my life," Reese's says. "It was incredibly emotionally taxing." Today, Reese's, 54, is using the lessons she learned from her experiences at Square to build a bank that helps other fintech companies become more agile. Since most fintechs lack bank charters but want to engage in regulated banking activities like taking deposits, transferring money and originating loans, they often pay fees to real banks to let them do basic financial transactions. Most of the banks servicing fintechs have tended to be small and lacking in terms of speed and technology. Reese's says partnering with these banks during her 6 years at Square was painful.